initially, the city attorney has that and is reviewing it, Ms. Hayes. And I know a couple of mayors and I had some conversations, but we're kind of waiting to see what the city attorney says, and maybe we all need to get on agenda or attend a commissioner's court meeting and let them know what we'd like to happen, because it doesn't sound like a fair deal at all. Yes, sir.
I'll just, I think you already answered the question I was gonna ask, but
Okay.
because I know that we're on the cycle of attorneys, because we're still putting RFP, so most of the things that we were regarding to in terms of giving to city attorney, is it Ms. Leah Hayes?
Well, it's Olson & Olson, who Mr. Bounds is with, so it's the law firm, because when you contract, you don't contract with an attorney, you do it with the firm. So it is with Olson, at least right now. The benefit of that is their vast experience on it and stuff.
Yeah, cause I guess cause like if I had questions, would I be typically going to Ms. Leah Hayes, even though the firm
Sure.
is helping out, is she the one doing?
She's our primary contact, yes. And if you don't have her email, I'll be glad to give
I
it
got
to
it.
you. Okay,
I have a question.
yes.
What's the status on the city engineer, the RFP on the city engineer?
Did we put it out as yet?
No, sir.
No, okay. No, we're putting that together. There was, or is, one that I contacted that's at least at bay to assist us right now. And since they're billed by project, but yeah.
Do you have a timetable when you plan on putting it out? The RFP?
Yeah, we hope to have it out at least by next meeting. Yes.
So it's two different things.
And I'm sorry, make that note for me, Ms. Dickey?
Yes,
I
sir.
don't want to forget. Yes, sir.
You mentioned possibly, potentially getting someone temporarily, which may or may be a good idea. I guess you'll let us know. Is that
Engineer?
Yeah, engineer.
Yes.
I think that's what you was mentioning. But he
Yes.
asked what's the timetable for us going through the process of hiring one permanently.
Right.
Is
We're
it,
looking
so
to
is
try
that
to
still
put it
next
out.
meeting?
Yeah, we're trying to post it by the next meeting, so it'll be posted by the next meeting, then we'll give them, and what does council think? Mr. Bounds, what's the typical, 30 days? 30 days for RFP for a city engineer? What's atypical out there?
I don't think there is a typical, there is no requirement that you give notice to, on an RFP for engineers. The typical procurement is once a week for 2 consecutive weeks, so it's 15 days.
When you say once a week,
Once a week for 2 consecutive weeks, at
Posting?
least 15 days before the date that you receive the bids. So
Okay.
typically, the minimum is 15 days.
oh, so what you're saying is if we have an RFP, we don't quote unquote have to have a city engineer. We post out the RFP and whoever we select to handle that RFP takes care of us on that project. So it's a by project basis?
You could select a professional for a project, yes.
Okay.
I will,
So we'll take a look at.
whatever we did, as long as it was after TML, usually most engineering firms that do city engineering will be at TML. And if we had the RFP and had what we were looking for, that would be a great opportunity for us to connect with putting other feelers and people to bid on the work.
Right, and I put the draft
Yeah.
for city engineer into council's hands. Are there any comments or anything you'd like to see me add to that?
Let's let them get back with you in writing.
Okay, wonderful.
and that would
If
be
you
a good
could
follow-up.
email me, follow up.
Yes, ma'am.
Anything else on admin council? The biggest thing I want to stress to the public and council is, and you could probably look up, if you will, for maybe more information that we can give you, the AT&T First Responders Program. You know, because we want to make council very aware so that y'all can make decisions, be plugged in on it,
That
and
we connect with the chief about getting on there, and how do we get it plugged in?
yes, I definitely know that you're interested in letting me know you're
Would you
interested.
come
Yeah, we'll, we have an emergency management meeting tomorrow. We can talk about the personnel.
What time, Chief? 10 o'clock tomorrow? Yes, sir.
I was asking, underneath administration reports, it says ordinance 1.502.
Okay, That's something that we went back, Ms. Dickey found, it had been voted on, but the information wasn't put in terms of the correct meeting date.
Is that the one that says it's on like December and then?
Right, it's on the wrong day of the week.
Yeah,
So it was voted to change it, but when the city attorney did that, he didn't actually incorporate, second, fourth Monday. So we just want to have, it because the vote is taking place, so we just want to have, let's get that to our city attorney, just have him insert those dates, and if it needs to hit agenda again, he or she'll let us know.
Was it, did they was it inserted? I didn't see it.
Yes,
I think the date, I think it would have to come back to council for, if it's an adjustment to the ordinance, we would have to vote on the ratification, I would imagine, right?
honestly, I'm not sure, that's why we're running it back, since it didn't have the correct meeting dates, to be sure, if it needs to do whatever, as Ms. Dickey found that, we're just gonna have the city attorney give it to us.
But, Mr. Mayor, I think Councilman Wallace has something, then I had a question.
Yes,
and just for clarification, 'cause I remember we did talk about this, when Attorney Kerwin was attorney, it was the one that said that the city council shall hold regular meetings on the fourth Tuesday of each month, except in November and December, the regular meeting will be held on the third Tuesday of the month, and so that's the one that.
That's what we took out.
Yeah.
But the question is, when we, this is supposed to be the new one, and I don't see the second.
right, that's what we're saying. He didn't incorporate it, he took the old one out,
Okay.
but didn't put the new one in. But because it was voted at the July 23rd, 2018 meeting, we're gonna have, and get that to the city attorney to see what's the best way just to correct that. Does it need to totally come back with the correct dates in, or
Whatever,
did the vote take care of it?
whatever so it's just gonna be the date corrections?
Yes.
But are we gonna get a copy of that once that is finalized?
Yes. Yeah, we'll make that in the packet. That's why we put this stuff, but it's not.
It's in your
complete.
minutes also. I gave you a copy of that set of minutes where y'all approved
Yes,
it.
highlighted.
Yeah.
Moving agenda to finance, Mr. Johnson, anything else you need to share with us? Okay.
Matt, real quick, how much money do we have left
Oh, what now?
for, I mean, we're about to be the end of the budget, but how much do we have left? 'Cause I know some citizens are talking about doing emergency stuff, tree cutting, or, how much money left in the budget?
What particular line
To
item?
do tree cutting.
You talking about street maintenance?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Did you send that line item to us, or we asked for that? Did we do that, Mr. Mayor? The building and that line, all that line item stuff?
Oh, with the breakdown. Yeah.
I'm looking at through August right now. Okay. Maintenance. Okay. All right, we spent 57, we have a budget of 77, so right now you got 20,000 to date, and next month's budget is 7,000, so you got 27,000 left in this year's budget.
So,
So, could we wait to put it on next meeting, or we have to,
but the mayor,
Yeah, y'all
the
can,
mayor could, so how it would work is, we got $20,000.
27.
20, I thought it was.
Well, you got
minus
20
the
plus you
7.
got next month 7, so that's 27.
Okay, that the mayor would have to allocate, that we would make a motion to support the mayor in allocating the remainder of that budget to and we would have to identify the streets or the neighborhoods, because the we would have to have a plan, and we only have like a week to do this. But the person who can execute on this is the mayor.
Right.
Alright, so, now that JJ is looking younger than ever, we could possibly have a meeting that was scheduled for last week. We'll be able to meet, sometime this week, to possibly put it,
Probably Friday.
No, today is the 24th.
yeah, but you said that we have to have a plan to present to the mayor.
No, the
No,
mayor,
y'all
I
can
mean,
just go.
we can just go.
Y'all can just go, y'all don't really need me.
The September
Just meet
30th
Friday.
is the end of the budget.
Well,
And
that,
and what are all the
you
line
just need
items
to
in that again,
contract.
Jim?
Huh?
What are all the line items in that
Oh, well,
street maintenance?
that's just street maintenance.
I know, what are
Well,
all the
that can
items
be
in Couch Under?
Ditch cleaning, tree cutting, actual streets, lighting. 'Cause now you had mentioned lighting as a possibility, which is a good project to use that money for.
The problem is, if we, majority, 80% of the current budget has been used for one line item. Is that correct?
Primarily tree cutting.
And so we want to make sure that that if there's other neighborhoods in the city that hasn't had that service, that would at least pass through one time, because tree cutting is not a service that we should be doing.
Right.
And so we should be, if we've done it around the city, we should find the other neighborhoods who haven't had the service and get that done within the next 5 days. The mayor can do that, we just gotta help,
Well,
we just
yeah,
gotta.
you can contract it, as long as you contract it, it doesn't have to be completed. Just contract it in this fiscal period. In other words, just
Yeah.
identify it, and we can, as long as we can pay it in October.
Right.
But you want to contract it in this fiscal period.
Mr. Mayor, I'm sorry, how, Councilman Jones had a question on
No,
that.
you go ahead.
How much work? How much work can we get done? If we have to split it, like, how many more neighborhoods that need to get done? Since you've been spearheading this project, how many neighborhoods need it? And do we have enough money to be able to do that?
We could do damage. What I did last Thursday night was, along these lines, was, in finishing, the project started with San Bernard Electric probably about 15, 18 months ago, is we circled again around the entire city, and if not, hopefully tomorrow, the next day, they're supposed to be sending a cost for these additional lights, a few poles, several upgrades of existing, and they've agreed to do some cutting around some of them that are pretty thick, that they don't normally have to do, but in this project, so, some of it might, depend on that, because while we definitely want to, continue to take care of all the trees, I know the lighting has been a major,
See, y'all got a little
issue
more time
citywide.
because I can accrue it. If y'all say you want to do this, I'll accrue it. And you can finish paying for it. As long as I accrue for it in the current period, and we can, you got in October.
Okay.
So-
Councilman Randall.
So we can allocate the funds for the tree cutting and go back and identify.
Yeah, yeah,
And go back
Right.
later and identify the priority list.
exactly. Y'all got 27, you were here.
But the question is, like, we have, like, the interesting thing is that we only had a limited amount of money, but we have like 3 major things. And one was streets, and one was ditches. And I'm trying to, we voted, we voted not to really move forward with the tree cutting, if I remember correctly.
Yes.
But I don't want the money to sit idle and us not being able to address the needs of the community. So I don't know if we have time to put a full-out plan in the next 5 days, but we need to do.
Yeah, put your emergency
Well,
plan together for the 27th.
the lighting thing will come back, and I can shoot that out as soon as I get it from San Bernard, if not tomorrow, the next day, and then we'll know
Whatever you can address in a short period for
where
the
that
27th.
is.
Then we got the rest of the budget for the next fiscal.
So,
We can't even take action on this thing because,
Well, no,
but do we actually have to, we don't have action on it, or it can just,
Do
if
the
something
mayor.
happens?
no, we just, basically what we're
Ask the
asking there,
yeah,
so,
we should go through the mayor.
Mayor just putting this out here, Long there, Mr. Ron Leverett has, proposed several meetings, on tree cutting through an area in which buses, do tend to come through and pick up students and things of that such to transport them to school, and the trees hit the limbs, hit the bus and scrape the top of the buses and things of that such. So we could possibly take care of that, and then furthermore, put together a plan going to make sure the budget is great.
Okay, I have one more question for JJ. Yes. What are the subsets that go underneath this, so it's ditches, it's street maintenance, and it's
Lighting.
Lighting,
The tree cutting.
anything related to a street.
tree cutting?
All that falls under the one line.
That's what.
So, all right, this is,
And the reason for that, go ahead.
I mean, I understand.
Right, okay.
But, is there, because as Councilman Rowland stated, we allocated that entire line item to one subset. Well, majority of that line item, one subset, which was the tree cutting.
It's a choice, that's all.
Right, so.
But we have done more with it.
In the sake of equity and distribution, how can we ensure that whatever that total is in that line item is being distributed to streets and being distributed to lighting and being distributed to ditches? Because we already know about the flooding issues, and what was it, 3 years ago, we spent $60,000 to get the ditches, $80,000 to get the ditches hedged and the culverts cleaned out. I don't think
I think
at that time, we were supposed to develop a plan to where we were on a regular schedule of keeping those ditches, keeping the ditches clean and the culverts clear. So,
And that's exactly what we're gonna do. What we have forecasted, we're gonna get together and put together a plan, divvying up those dollars.
Yeah, so that's what he's speaking of upon earlier with men and Dante, because we
Right.
already have reached out upon putting together a plan, a 6-year, 7-year plan,
Mhm.
upon like what is our key issues,
Exactly.
what are the issues to attack, and have it also in writing upon, so that way each year that it comes back is not a new issue. I see that you guys, like, run into the issue of saying that something had happened or came up, but could never be possibly found in writing. And that comes up with our issues in policy, our issues with like furthering the plan, so.
So, and these four under subsections, under the line item of street maintenance, that's something we should have addressed, or we can still address when we talk, in our budget period, when we talk about the budget, is that correct?
What's that again?
These subsections, so these are 1, 2, 3, 4 subsections fall under that. And so if let's say the number is $100,000, and we wanted to allocate an even fair distribution of those subsections, and then we develop a plan that draws from those things, we can do that.
Right, yes, sir. Yes, sir. I was just giving a note. Now, you know y'all just voted on the disaster recovery. So that's probably gonna play a role in a lot of this going forward that's related to Hurricane Harvey. So you're talking about $742,000 there. Yes, sir.
My plan, as far as our budget, we had issues, I guess, a nice way or politically correct way to say it would be an officer we no longer have that's a part of the city. Is that line item still included within the chief budget to go out and find another officer to fulfill that position?
Yes, sir, it is. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Have we set a process forward for that? There's a process, have we set that process?
That's not the financial.
Yeah, okay, thank you. Police report, Chief Solomon?
All we have is, we came to you several months ago about a grant for a NIVERS grant. We were awarded that grant last week, so we'll be moving forward with getting everything accepted on it. It's an instant-based reporting. It's how we do our UCR codes to send to the FBI, our Part 1 and our Part 2 crimes. So I think the last thing we need to do is to get finance guy to put his information in, and then I can go in and just accept the grant. It's a $33,000 grant. It's something that we had to change over, and so we were awarded that grant. You had a question about?
Yeah, I had a question. There was, we talked about in the budget allocated for an officer.
Yes, sir.
Is that position filled or is that open?
That position is open. The position is still open. We didn't take anything out of that budget when we came with it. Those numbers were there. Those numbers just changed from what that officer was making, and went down about $3,000 less, but left in the budget at the new starting pay.
So, the reason why I asked the question, the process, have you, the money's there now. Have you requested to the mayor for a position to be open to fill that money or whatever you're saying, that's in the
Not yet.
budget?
We won't do that until after October.
Good stuff. Ordinance violations, I'll just say that I know a court date is being set for sometime next month for the 10-day notice of citations that have been shot out for the last 45 to 60 days. So 38 of those individuals per Officer White have come into compliance. So the process is working, and we'll see where the others are, and or they'll be coming into court to be dealing with the judge. Public Works, the one thing I want to share with council is there's some FEMA federal funds that we've been informed that may assist with a few of the things that we need on the lift stations. Like one of them were actuators. It's like when lightning hits, this thing that cuts it off, that keeps it from burning up the motor, things like that. We have them with so much of our electronic equipment, but there's some funding that it sounds like in talking with those folks that we should be getting, but that's the only thing to share. To date, no major issues through the month. City council reports. Councilman Rowland.
Good evening, citizens. It's an honor and pleasure to serve you, to continue to work in this community. Had an opportunity to go and engage with some members of the Local Progress, which is an organization, progressive organization that's fighting for several issues: pay, sick leave, and also fight for 15, so a livable wage. In our budget process, we've been very active trying to find out what is the baseline of the lowest employee in the city, and what does it take, and setting a timetable on what will take to get them at the minimum, which is $15 an hour. And so that's something that I've taken on to work on. Second thing is the Texas Association of American Chamber of Commerce will have their Black Business Conference coming up September 27th, 28th, on the 27th. I'll be moderating a panel for the city of Prairie View, along with Mayor Michael Wolf, Mayor Derek Freeman from Port Arthur, Mayor Mary Dennis from Live Oak, Texas, Commissioner Jeff Trevelyan, Commissioner Tommy Calvert, and City Councilman from Cedar Hill. Our conversation and dialogue will be about many things that I have taken on as one of my initiatives, and that we've tried to support here in the city of Prairie View, and that's engaging minority women business enterprises, and how do we make sure that we're communicating to all businesses. And that's why you had Ms. Dickey who gave us the list that identified small business entrepreneurs, women entrepreneurs and minority entrepreneurs, which is, again, there's federal and state statutes for that. Most would, the conversation that I'll be moderating is around most municipalities under 50,000 does not have a designated person. And so that's why it behooves us to, you know, understand these policies because, you know, the federal government really doesn't care. Had the opportunity, again, been on phone calls back and forth with Comptroller Hager. The goal is to bring him here in the next 45 days. We're gonna have a table talk in Prairie, and we'll be talking about the tax rate. As you know, Comptroller, former Senator Hager, Comptroller Hager is from Waller County, and so we're trying to set that date around the Prairie Chamber of Commerce. The voter registration, again, come October, 30 days out, you must be registered to vote before 30 days. So if you haven't registered to vote, please make sure you do that, exercise your right to vote. Had the opportunity to represent the city, but also my community. We had Congressman Beto O'Rourke on campus, who came to the city of Prairie, and he met with several people in the community and on campus, and had a great turnout. The live streams, if for citizens who didn't come but wanted to see it, you could have looked at it on the university's website, and it had about 61,000 people who streamed that, which was a pretty good turnout. I had an opportunity to represent not only the city with a workshop with Consumer Action, and they were talking about insurance and FEMA. FEMA is the government arm, but there's some information that I'll be bringing to the city that have to do with homeowners and renters in our community. Because there's no nonprofit organization or CDC that would be helping local citizens get engaged in this process, knowing what you should have before an event happens. They're going to be sending me some literature and information. I'll be also presenting that at the NAACP conference, and so that information I'll be bringing to the city of Prairie View. Also, the NAACP is having their 81st annual convention in McKinney, Texas, October 4th through the 6th, and that's before our next city council meeting. If you're a member or you want to get back engaged, please come out because the family's always ready to receive you. We'll be having the director from the movie, the person who wrote the book on the new Spike Lee movie. That person will be there. So again, thank you for the opportunity to serve. Our city council meetings are the first and third Wednesday in this room. If you want to come out and support the community, please come out. The Boy Scouts, I said city council, I'm sorry. The Boy Scouts, Troop 1906, we meet here in this room on the first and third Wednesday at 7 o'clock. If you're want to participate or have a skill that you think that they can use, please come out. And then the Prairie Chamber of Commerce meets on the last Thursday at the Alumni Building at 12 o'clock. We'd love to have you. Thank you.
All right, good evening. I'll be brief. One quick announcement. I'm a member of the Prairie View Grad Chapter Panel Council. We're having a scholarship gala on October the 6th. It's going to be in Houston. It's going to be $30 a ticket, and it goes to give scholarships to freshmen and sophomore college students as well as high school seniors. As Councilman Rowland stated, Beto O'Rourke did come to Prairie View last week, and I had the opportunity to welcome him to the city, and we had a literal elevator conversation, and it was a good experience, a great conversation, but he was very genuine in learning about the issues of the city of Prairie View. So we got to talk for about 10 minutes before he came on stage and talked to the great and impressive turnout of PVMU students and community members that showed up. Also, I attended the men's breakfast at St. Francis, where we had a guest speaker, Gerald King, who is a self-made millionaire, who talked about the trials and tribulations of his life. Great story, great speaker. Had a great message. There were about 20 to 25 young Prairie View students, young men in the audience. I think they picked a great weekend to be there because he spoke directly to their lives about just living and seizing every day because, you know, your health and your spiritual health, your physical health are things that you can never get back. Lastly, I attended a citizens get together in Prairie Hills where they got together. You know, it was a meet and greet, and where they just got together and said, let's meet our neighbors. And I think that's important for a community to just have get-togethers where you don't expect anything, you just come together and just you fellowship and you know who lives next to you. It was a great event. A lot of the pillars from that community, who are pillars of this entire community, were in attendance, and so it was great to be there and great to be around those people. As always, it is a pleasure to serve, and I look forward to continue to do so. Thank you.
Councilman Jones?
Hello, world. My name is Kendrick Jones. I'm grateful for the opportunity to serve. 6 p.m. Wednesday here at City Hall. I will be hosting an interlocal agreement city discussion. Then that's something that we've been wanting to talk about and present. And I want to hear some of the citizens' comments and concerns upon them living here longer than my age. So I look forward to hearing their comments and concerns. So that way we can take it back to Mr. Yancey Scott and he can propose some things to the commissioners and get us some feedback. Thank you for the opportunity to serve once again.
Thank you to everyone for coming out. The one thing I need to let council know, I will be sending you an email. Ms. Joanne Casper is interested in coming and doing the workshop and training for us. I had mentioned to you about the buyouts and acquisitions and elevations and so on. And she wanted me to send out the email to you so that you can email back to me what exactly you're interested in finding out. What exactly are you interested in trying to do for our floodplain areas, et cetera, but she just needs to have an idea, because she doesn't want to come here with her own agenda and talk about a whole bunch of stuff, and that's not what we're interested in. So I will be following that email to everyone, and then anything that you can think of that you think we need to talk about in this workshop, please email it back to me so I can give it to her. And after that, she will email me dates that she will be available, and then I will get back to you guys on that as well.
Good evening, everyone. So some real quick, simple stuff. So, one, Ms. Lana Gaskin talked about it earlier. Abundance of Hands Ministry. So, just a little more in depth of it. So, it's based off community service. It's for any and everything, any need that you have, whether it's clean out your garage, you need help taking one thing from one place to another. We have partnered with over 23 organizations on campus, and that is, if you do an average of 10 students, that's over 230 students that are willing and dedicated to helping out the city. So out there on the table, we have a Abundance of Hands service request. So all you do is you fill it out. It's right at the scope of work.